When you're just driving around like Jersey City or Union City, North Bergen, you almost reach out and touch the World Trade Center. It's just astonishing how close we are. So when you get down by the waterfront, down by Newport or North Bergen, and the new park they built up here right off the boulevard, right up River Road rather, you get a real good look, and you take some binoculars, you can see things. You got the statue in Jersey City, the Katyn statue, memorializing the 20-some-odd thousand Polish individuals, from soldiers to professionals to teachers, who were massacred by the Russians. That looks like that's going to be moving on. The city of Jersey City wants to get into the development business. They may be the master developer on the Honeywell site. If you don't know where that is, that's by the old Great Eastern, where Great Eastern was. All the trucking terminals, the Roosevelt Drive-In was back there. All right, we're going to break for commercial, but remember, HMG TV shows, that's our base website. You got Twitter at JC Hudson Media. You can tweet me. If you got any problems with the county, the municipality, consumer issue, go to HMG TV shows. I'm going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back. Let me look important here. We are efforting to get Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. I think the problem is Facebook is preventing us from doing it simultaneously. After the show, we'll probably talk to the people at Facebook. One of the more interesting things that happened this week has to do with the Jersey City revow, and Weehawken just had one also. For reasons unbeknownst to anyone, Senator Brian Stack and Senator Sandra Cunningham, Brian Stack, 33rd District, Sandy, the 31st District, have proposed legislation that would hold off the effects in Jersey City and Weehawken of the recently completed revows to 2019. Now, a lot of the residents have received their cards, their assessment cards, and you got 45 days after you received your card to appeal the assessment. Now, in downtown Jersey City, there are huge problems with the revow. And the problem being, in Jersey City, we had not done a revow since 1988. And if you ever watch Ghostbusters, you'll see a quick shot of the Jersey City waterfront, and I think Ghostbusters in the middle 80s, something like that, 86, whatever it was, 87. A lot of downtown is still being taxed from that Ghostbuster look, but it is so vastly different now, almost 30 years. And since we didn't do a revow for many years in downtown Jersey City, our taxes were, state taxes for the schools were froze. The state was running our schools. Most of the properties were abated, and we didn't do any revow. So if you bought a home, there was a guy who bought a home in Jersey. He was quoted in the paper in 1984, and he's complaining about his taxes today. And he went from something like $8,000 a year to $43,000 or something like that. And he's talking about how unfair it is. He has to sell a home. When we bought the place in the 80s, we did renovations. Well, those renovations are old. The house isn't really worth this much. Here's the problem. Yes, the house is worth a ton of money in downtown Jersey City. And we all knew our homes were worth far more than the assessment of what we were taxed on. Anybody who says we didn't see this coming is full of it. the house the guy's talking about in 1984. In 1994, 10 years after they owned it, he knew his house was probably worth twice as much now, but his taxes stayed the same. No reval, the school taxes were locked, so your taxes went along. And back then, we wouldn't think about raising a tax. You know, from McCann to Shunla to Cunningham, they didn't think about raising taxes. 2004, the boom is going on in Jersey City. Property values in downtown are going skyrocketing. This guy's house is probably worth 5 times what he purchased it, probably closer to 10. He's still paying the same taxes. Again, 2004, the state is still running the schools, your taxes, are frozen. 2014, his house is worth in the millions now. He's still paying the $7,000 or so in taxes, or the $6,000 or so in taxes. And he knows his house is worth probably $3.5 million. And you're enjoying it. And listen, I'm a guy in the Heights. We knew when the reval started, I'm talking about the Healy reval, it was scary for long-term homeowners in Jersey City who bought their houses in, the 60s, 70s, the 80s, and they went through like whatever reval was done before 88. Everybody knew nothing was done. You got people coming into Jersey City buying houses for $400,000 just to knock them down so they can build a cookie cutter. We knew the houses were worth $400,000 or $500,000, but they're assessed at like $90,000, $110,000. So, Mayor Healy. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of malfeasance here in the city of Jersey City. We were not doing our due diligence, and we all knew it. Nobody was running down to City Hall with torches saying, "Do a reval, do a reval." Jerry McCann didn't raise them. Cunningham didn't do a reval. 8 years of Jerry Healy didn't do a reval. It was his last year he put a reval in. When the reval was done, Mayor Fulop is now in office. He doesn't want the reval. He says there was some irregularities there. Our old business administrator took a job with the reval company, so he was fighting in the courts. He stopped it. And if you watched the Jersey City show all those years, I said we didn't have a legal prayer in this. We had no legal standing to bring suit. And we lost in every court, every appeal. So we wound up paying for a reval that we couldn't use because after 3 years, the numbers are old. We couldn't use the reval, and then we had to pay for it, and then it was interest and penalties, and of course, we lost like $4 million, and we couldn't use the numbers. Now, Mayor Fulop said the problem was the irregularities and there's little inside baseball was going on because that BA knew the properties better than anybody. Mayor Fulop will never admit it. He's seen the Healy reval numbers, or he had a good indication of what they were, and he knew this was devastating to downtown. Like I said, taxes were gonna go from $6,000-7,000 a year to $30,000, $40,000 a year. He knew it was devastating. So he fought that tooth and nail not to have those numbers come out. But Fulop kind of is the forcing. It's that the state forced a reval. He was going to run for governor. He was going back and forth with Chris Christie. He had purchased a home on Ogden Avenue for $800,000, and the taxes were like $7,000 a year. And Senator Doherty up in Warren County went nuts over that, saying if that house was in my district, it would be $25,000 a year in taxes. Actually, like that was a badge of honor. Who would be $25,000 a year in taxes? No, it's not a badge of honor. That's a problem with New Jersey. This is crazy real estate taxes, property taxes. That started the ball rolling. Steve was poking the bear, Chris Christie, so he ordered the reval. The state ordered a reval be conducted, and it dragged down a few other municipalities with it, like Elizabeth had to go through them, I guess Weehawken. Steve knew, and listen, Fulop is a smart kid. He's got a finance background. This guy knows money. He knew what was coming, and it came. Now, I'm almost out of time for this break, but we'll follow this up again. Now, Senator Cunningham and Senator Stack want to hold off those increases to 2019 because the reval effect hits this August. If your taxes are going up, you're going to get that in the August tax bill. If your taxes are going down, it'll be reflected in the August tax bill. I think when Senator Stack and Senator Cunningham looked at this legislation, so let's try to protect these people whose taxes are going up, they forgot that there's a lot of people's taxes are going down. We'll pick up on this on the flip side. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together. We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show here. I'm fixing my hair. I like having some hair. I got some hair to fool with yet. I don't have a lot of it, but I got some to fool with yet. Getting back to this revow revolt, the legislation was going to hold off the increases until 2019. But the problem with that, yes, and this was targeted strictly at the downtown area. Yeah, their taxes are all going up, but the city as a whole wasn't getting new taxes, just redistributing the tax base. In essence, since we had not done a revow in Jersey City since the late 80s, and the downtown area was building up, again, go see Ghostbusters, you see what it looked like in the 80s and what it is today. Lafayette, Greenbelt, West Side, the Heights, they were all underwriting the downtown area because we didn't do a revow and we kept giving out all these abatements. So mom and pop was doing a lot of underwriting. When the revow was done, the tax levy was redistributed, and now it took in the downtown, all the changes, all the increases in the property values. You know, on the waterfront down there, an acre of land undeveloped was going for like $35 million. Acre of land on the west side was not going for $35 million. Now, all that has occurred. You know, the gentrifiers got gentrified in downtown Jersey City, and they don't like it. Everybody likes that liberal stuff, you know, your fair share and all that, until it's you. So, yeah, there's going to be some changes in downtown. Some people cannot afford to live in downtown anymore. But a lot of these properties that got hit big are also rental properties. And not only were these people who are crying, and believe me, I empathize with the people. You know, nobody wants to pay more. They knew, first off, we were way underassessed. I was paying way under property taxes compared to the rest of the state. And I have 3 or 4 rental units going on. So I was paying very little in property taxes, and I was getting a market rate rent in downtown. So it's hard to have a lot of sympathy. I have empathy. Now, sympathy I can't give because they were making money hand over fist for a very long time down there. When the changes occurred, people in the Heights, and listen, most of the people in the Heights were like, we were waiting for the hammer. We thought like Thor's hammer was coming. I was relieved when Heller destroyed Thor's hammer. That's why I couldn't get hit over the head with it. But then he got Stormbreaker. But we were all worried about getting hit over the head. And a lot of the people in the Heights did. But the closer you were to downtown, I believe, the more you got hit over the head. When you got on the west side of Central Avenue, things started changing. You know, your taxes were going down. You were overassessed. You were paying too much for a long, long time. When you got into the slope area, things went even further down. And it good for the people in the slope, good for people in the Heights, good on the west side, all that. Your taxes went down. The properties that are valued at buku bucks, you know, they're paying what everybody talks about, oh, the fair share, until it becomes your fair share. But, you know, I said in this show numerous times we waited for the numbers. It's going to be a problem in the Heights. I tell you, we were thinking thousands of years, thousands of dollars a year increase. Now, what Cunningham and Stack are talking about is holding off these increases, but in effect, they're holding off the decreases for the rest of the city. And it's not fair to Greenville, Lafayette, West Side, the people in the Heights, who for years and years were underwriting those very valuable pieces of property in the downtown area. So things have balanced out now. The cards were shuffled again. Now, there is talk about a class action lawsuit against the city of Jersey City for not doing their due diligence. A lot of people are pointing at the 2013 rebound numbers that Fulop stopped. I didn't see them. And I asked Mayor Full about the numbers, and he said, we can't see them. We can't use them. It's basically dead. There are a lot of people saying we should adopt those numbers. Well, we can't. We have up-to-date numbers here. So there are some people talking, all downtown residents, about a class action lawsuit. If somebody has a reason for a class action lawsuit, I think I'm looking at the rest of the city, the people in Greenville and Lafayette and the West Side and the Heights, who for decades were paying more in taxes because the city of Jersey City didn't do their due diligence and do the rebound. So if anybody really has any standing for a class action lawsuit, that's probably that. The people who overpaid for years and years and years, not the people downtown. Now listen, people downtown, obviously some are going to have to sell their property. They can't afford the property taxes. They're going to probably get hit with capital gains tax. All these things come into play. I had said for at least 2 years that somehow, some way, we need to figure out a way to protect the people who are going to be hurt, in particular seniors and the disabled. Now, again, going into the downtown area, there are people that bought those homes in the late 70s and 80s. This was the nest egg. This is where now grandma is living. Grandma can't handle 40 grand a year in property taxes, especially if she's in a 1 or 2 family down there. Now, you got multiple units. You got some revenue coming in. We didn't do anything. We didn't change anything. We all complained, but nobody changed anything. Nobody tried to come up with a way to hold off the damage that was going to affect some parts of the city. And again, I'm going to look at Fulop here saying he had a pretty damn good idea, because I'm sure we had the 2013 numbers at City Hall. Even though we were disputing them and we were saying this was an illegal process that was used here for this company to get the contract, we paid, the judges made us pay for the reval that was done and interest and penalty. We had those numbers before we started this second reval, and we had a damn good indication of what was coming. That's when we should have tried to come up with some sort of a game plan to alleviate the pressure on some of these homes. And I shouldn't say some, it's quite a bit of these homes that are getting raised astronomically. But keep in mind, they're going to pay a ton more in property taxes, but their real value of the homes are now out in front. Like I said, for years and years, we knew, well, that house is worth about $3 million, but it's assessed for $110,000. Everybody knew. We all knew, and when we started talking this reval, especially the long-term homeowners, they were very worried about what these revals would do. Now, if you bought a home, 4 years ago, the city had the up-to-date numbers on you. The reval, even Mayor Fulop in Ogden Avenue, I think he went from like $7,000 a year. I think his new one is like $13,000 a year. And things have now balanced out, but really, the closer you got to downtown, the more expensive it became. And probably a lot of that has to do with the abatements we gave out. But all that development raised the tide in Jersey City. So there is benefit to it also. So it's not all negative. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We'll be right back.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments. See emergency room wait times and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
We're back. Hudson County Show, live from North Bergen. It's the Hudson County Show. Jersey City's been making all the news this week. You know, we got a political situation. I might talk about some of that. Maybe save it for next week. By the way, next week is our last 2 live shows until September. We go on a hiatus. We'll be working on new shows. For that matter, I got some ideas for a set over here for the Icon show. I'd like to do some biography kind of thing, because we lose people of history in Hudson County. There are some really interesting people who made a lot of changes and affected a lot of changes in Hudson County, and they get lost to the arms of the clock. You know, the clock keeps moving, and little by little they fade away. So I'd like to work on that. You know, we're working on a new cop program that we can get in earnest with. But let's get back to what we're doing. Talking about properties and home ownership, the city of Jersey City is considering, and I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to, purchase the Honeywell site. Now, the Honeywell site is where the Roosevelt Drive-In was. Great Eastern was down there. There was a bunch of trucking terminals down there over the years. It glowed in the dark. You know, it was contaminated chromium. Everything was contaminated down there. You think of a contaminant, it was there. I'm surprised we're all alive. That's why people talking about, you know, living a healthy life and all. I don't know how many friggin' times I was in the Roosevelt Drive-In. I don't know how many ball games I played down there on the Annex Field, and all that was super contaminated. You know, Jersey City was an industrial town. In the old days, we just dumped things. And it wasn't just us. It was the military and the government, too, because the government took over a lot of those factories and warehouses. You didn't know what to do with something, you dumped it. For that matter, back in the 80s, after the Roosevelt Drive-In closed and we found out that, you know, pretty dirty area down there, but we didn't tell everybody how dirty the soil was. My father-in-law's car was stolen. Now, being a Jersey City guy who did some of that stuff in his youth, I went to what was the old haunts on where we used to dump cars. Hackensack River was a spot, but I didn't have any scuba gear. One of those places was down by the Roosevelt Drive-In. We used to dump the stolen cars after we beat them up a little bit. And it was closed off, and they had like these concrete walls. And I'm trying to get over the wall to see if the car's in there, because you take it somewhere to strip it. I get up on the top of this concrete wall, and it was like I was looking at another planet. Now, there was no car traffic going into the drive-in all, you know, for a few years, and the ground completely changed. I mean, it was different colors. It was like friggin' volcanoes were coming up. So, holy. This was the area I grew up in. I'm surprised I don't glow in the dark. The city, and through Honeywell and through numerous lawsuits, the area is, I won't say pristine clean, but it's clean. And is ready for development, and is clean enough to put development there. Not industrial, that sort of thing, a passive development, home ownership. Mayor Fulop is pitching 3 different development ideas. One, your basic, Honeywell develops it. They get an abatement, 10% of it or 20% affordable housing. The third one, like 30% affordable housing. The city's throwing some money in there. The fourth one, the third one now, is the city buys the land from Honeywell. On Monday at the caucus meeting when I was there, the price was $170 million. by Wednesday's council meeting, the price went up to $180. So it went up $10 million in a couple of days. Mayor Fulop is interested in the third option. The city becomes the master developer. They own it. They will dictate to other builders on how to go about developing and what the spec is, in a goal of having 1,000, 1,400 units of affordable housing. That all sounds good, mind you. You know, affordable housing, there's need for that. Is that our most pressing need? Because there's a couple of things that happen with Jersey City. First off, historically, we don't do well with large developments of this nature. You know, you look at Curry Woods. Curry Woods was developed in the late 60s, the mid-60s. They were 7 or 9 high-rise buildings, I guess about 16 stories high. My mother passed away. We lived at 71 Merritt Street, 7C. And it was a beautiful, and I'm a little kid at this time. And I still remember that apartment. It was a beautiful apartment and a nice view of the Hudson River. Used to watch the Hackensack River. Used to watch the ships come in. Nice floors. It was a beautiful apartment. When my Aunt Rose was moving out of Heckman Drive, I forget if she lived on 1 or 3 Heckman. There's only one building left today, and I think it's 1 Heckman. I came back in the 70s to assist in moving Aunt Rose out of there. What a friggin' rat hole this whole complex turned into. I mean, it was disgusting. It was broken down. I remember when I was a kid, if you sat on a fence or you climbed on these decorative boulders, you know, the groundskeepers would like hit you with a stick. There was no fence. I don't know where the boulders went. How the hell do you steal boulders? We don't do very well with projects of that nature. Duncan Projects. That didn't work out too well. Holland Gardens down by the tunnel. It's not well known, but the clock is ticking on that one also. We don't do well in that. And when it comes to having a large majority of affordable housing, we're not going to do well. There's not going to be a lot of profit there. Do we need 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 family-size units of affordable housing? There isn't a shortage of housing in Jersey City. There's a shortage of people who can afford the rent. And that becomes the issue. Is it wiser for us, the city of Jersey City, to invest $170 or $180 million in 1,000 to 1,400 units of affordable housing, or is it wiser in us to invest in light industrial warehouses? For that matter, there was a column today written by Joseph Panapinto Sr., the president of Panapinto Properties, a friend of mine, about warehouses and how warehouses, they're coming back in fave, and there's jobs attached to that. What we need in Jersey City, more than affordable housing, because if you don't have a job, I don't care how affordable housing is, you can't afford it. We need jobs. Now, step away from the downtown section of Jersey City where people come from, we transfer companies from New York City or Washington, D.C., and they come with all their employees. We have a tremendous amount of unemployment in Jersey City. When you get into the southern area end of Jersey City, ooh, you're probably in the 30s, 35% unemployment. What do we need, affordable or jobs? We'll pick that up on the rebound. You're watching the Hudson County Show? I'll be right back. It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 521-9000 or visit online at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show. Pat O'Melia here. You there. You're watching it live. We're still working on this Facebook live stream thing, but if you click on the tweet, you can go directly to YouTube or Facebook. We're there. We got to figure out an easier way, like just starting the last 2 weeks. We used to simulcast on Facebook and YouTube, but now there's a problem, and we feel it's traceable to Facebook. Getting back to this development, listen, I applaud Mayor Phillip for rolling the dice on this and committing the city of Jersey City and future administrations and councils, because this thing will still be in construction and all the planning stages and what have you after the full administration and this president council is gone. We are making a huge commitment in this. I would rather see us make a huge commitment in jobs. Now, like I said, you can build 1,400 units of affordable housing. If people don't have a job, they can't afford whatever the hell it is. Now, if you're talking about developing housing for people who don't live here yet, affordable housing from people who are in New York City or Brooklyn or Staten Island, that sort of thing, and they move to Jersey City, and they say, whoa, we got this affordable housing in Jersey City. I'm only making $60,000 a year, and I'm working in Staten Island. I can move to Jersey City and get that affordable housing. That is not helping Jersey City or Hudson County residents, for that matter. Are we building affordable housing for people who don't live here? That's a real question. Now, going back to my idea, I would rather see us invest in job-related construction, warehousing, light industry. That 35% or so in the southern part of Jersey City unemployment, you can knock that down in half. And what happens from that? Well, first off, commercial development, warehousing, light industry, doesn't drain on the city's services. That 1,400 units of affordable housing, I don't know how many schools that's going to relate to. And that's not going to be affordable. You're going to have to pay for that. Now, also, with this development, that huge piece of land on the Hackensack waterfront, if we own it, we don't pay rateables. So there's no property taxes coming out of there. Jersey City desperately needs jobs. Now, the Honeywell site was an industrial site before. Ideally, it would be a great industrial site again. Now, chances are nobody wants any part of it. Oh, we don't want that. My old section of Jersey City, Dogpatch, let's put the 170 or 180 million there and be able to create and attract jobs to Jersey City. So I can put the people in the southern end of Jersey City to work, so they don't turn to a life of crime or begin committing crimes. I don't think anybody decides I'm going to be a career criminal. They start committing crimes. Jobs makes people productive. Is there a shortage of housing in Jersey City? No, there's for rent signs all over. People can't afford the rents in Jersey City. Now, I think Jersey City, an affordable rent is $1,400 a month. Now, is that really affordable? Not to a lot of people. Not if you're making, $14 an hour, $16 an hour, where it becomes the other flip side of what happens here. Unless you have an education and a trade or skill, you're never going to be able to afford the rent. So that's my problems. I need jobs that don't require a college education or a particular skill set or a trade. Because I have a lot of those individuals now running around all parts of Jersey City who have no future. No matter how affordable these units are going to be, they're never going to be able to afford them, because we don't have those type of jobs in Jersey City. We are no longer that blue-collar city. We have the people are still blue-collar. We just don't have the blue-collar jobs. I would rather the city, and I guess in the second reading of this, when it goes before the council, right now it's just being pitched, they're looking for feedback. I will speak to the council people. Again, I have nothing against affordable housing, but if you can't afford the affordable housing, it's not helping people in Jersey City. And that's a real problem. We've got to talk to the council people and say, well, who's getting in the 1,400 units of affordable housing we build? The people from Staten Island, Pennsylvania, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens? Then what the hell are we doing here? We're actually exacerbating a problem we have in Jersey City now. It's crowded, it's congested. 1,400 units, say each one has 2 kids. 2,800 kids. How many schools is that? You know, we're not looking at that, but this has to be looked at. Again, jobs, jobs, jobs. You want to cut down the crime? I don't know, there was a ton of crime this week. Shootings and stabbings, all that going on. Crime, crime. Jobs, jobs. That's what we need. 170, 180 million, put it in dog patch. Or the friggin' Honeywell site. It was an industrial, it's an attractive site. It's right off Route 440. It's near the turnpike. It's near the major highways. It was an industrial site. It worked before. It can work again. But I can't emphasize this enough. If you can't afford the affordable rent, it doesn't make a difference how many units you have available, does it? We need to create the opportunity for jobs. I'm not saying the city has to make jobs. They have to have the apparatuses around to take advantage of jobs. You know, if we have the warehousing and the light assembly, factory buildings of that nature, and there's assembly going on in manufacturing in the United States. It's not all done overseas. We need, if you build it, they will come. If I do not build commercial, industrial locations, we will never have jobs. We will never have jobs for those people, those kids who have made the mistake, and maybe not, maybe I shouldn't blame them. You know, whatever happened to the family unit, the parents, listen, my parents were gone when I was like 8 years old. Was it my fault my parents were gone at 8 years old? But I suffered the repercussions of that. And it's the same thing with these kids. They have a family unit. They don't go to school. They don't get a skill. They don't get an education. They don't have a lot of options. Fortunately for me, and at that time in Jersey City, you could walk out the door and get a job. And fortunately for me, I did go out and get a job. And I was able to get off what was a bad track. I don't know if they can do, I know we can't do it anymore in Jersey City. We don't have the jobs. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. We'll be right back. Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue in Jersey City. Your local collision specialist. Body and fender repair. On-site oven-baked paintwork. Fiberglass repair experts. Custom and classic car restoration. All insurance is welcome. 24-hour towing available. Licensed by the state of New Jersey. Plaza Auto Body, 700 Tunley Avenue, 201-222-3050. Plaza Auto Body, your bumper-to-bumper buddy.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
We're back. You're watching the Hudson County Show. You're watching it live. It's live on Comcast 190, Facebook, YouTube. You got to do a little work around there. Just click on the link on Twitter. Now, I guess you click on the Hudson Media website, HMG TV shows, click on us, and you can watch it right there, too. We have to put, like, instructions on the set on the screen until we can get this taken care of. Just keep in the Ebenezer Scrooge mode here. There is talk in Jersey City of adding more rent control. Again, if you don't have jobs, you can't afford whatever rent it is. There's talk about bringing rent control to 2 to 3 family homes. Right now, I believe it's 4 families and up. Um, Mom and pop, young couples, they buy a home. They buy a 2-family home or a 3-family home with the hope they can get a tenant or 2 tenants in there to offset their mortgage and their insurances and their taxes, that sort of thing. These people go out and they save. They work 2 jobs. The wife is working, the husband's working. Probably one of those 2 are working a part-time job to get the money for a deposit. But it's so much more than just a 20% down. Yeah, you got the closing. There is so much. I just seen it with my kids. They bought a house down at Seaside Heights. It was like the never-ending writing of checks. You know, they worked hard. They saved. They make the investment. They go into personal debt. I don't know how many homes in Hudson County, and I believe Hudson County leads the state. Well, I know New Jersey leads the government, the United States, in foreclosures. I'm not sure where Hudson County is in it, but foreclosures are all over the place. These are people who tried to live the American dream, the white picket fence sort of deal. The dream fell apart because of the economy, their job closed, it moved, whatever the case is. Really, it's not the individual's fault. And nobody goes and bails them people out. Nobody has a reset button when the economy goes south. You lose your home, you lose your credit rating, your savings, and you try to get yourself back off the ground. You don't get a reset. There's no second chance program for you. There's no tons of money invested in drug rehab programs for those individuals whose only fault was the economy went bad and their job left. And they went to work, but they couldn't find a job that paid the same, so they couldn't pay their mortgage. But they took that gamble. They did that. They took the gamble. They went into debt. They went into the taxes, the insurances, whatever work has to go into the house. They fix up the house. They rehab it. And hopefully they can attract some tenants, and everything's got to, it's almost got to be like a perfect scenario. I got to have good tenants. I got to be able to stay employed. I got to stay healthy. Everything's got to work. But they take that. That's the American dream. They figure the mortgages, the rents will help the mortgage. And they go into debt. They take the risk. And now the city of Jersey City wants to come in and say how much you can charge for rent. You got a 3-family home? Well, this is how much you're going to charge for rent. That is BS. You went into debt. You worked your butt off. You went out and got an education so you can get that kind of job that can afford a rent and 20% down. I tell you what, 20% down, a $400,000, $500,000 home, it's a hell of a lot of money. It's your property. You have property rights. Now listen, if you're buying a 6-unit apartment building, first off, you got some bucks. Secondly, you know what you're getting into. You know there's rent control issues there. But for a starter home, which is pretty much what these 2-3-family homes are, even though there's probably an illegal apartment in there, this city shouldn't come in and tell you what to charge. It is your property, your home, your investment, your future, your debt, your credit rating, and nobody's guaranteeing you the success. Nobody's guaranteeing you a job. And actually, it's starting to look like we got to guarantee people a living. Nobody's guaranteeing anything. If your job goes bad, your health goes bad, you got bad tenants, you can't make your mortgage, nobody gives it. Rat's rear end. The bank's going to take you home. You're going to go into foreclosure. Your credit rating is shot. You'll probably go into bankruptcy. And again, there's no reset button. So where the hell does the city come off telling this young couple, we're going to tell you how much you can charge for rent? It's as if you have no property rights. Now, I appreciate everybody wants to have a roof over their head. And we can probably do more than we do. But somehow, some way, we have to protect the people who make the investment in themselves. And that's where the investment first starts. It starts in the individual. It starts with mom and dad, 99% of the time, making sure the kids go to school, making sure they go to school in elementary, making sure they go to high school, breaking their butts so they can go to college, then, go postgraduate school, get their master's, their PhD, their MD, whatever field they're going into, whether it's being an accountant, whatever field, they get their MBA. They strive, parents always strive so the kids do better than they did. And we shouldn't penalize people who go out, and really, this is the American dream. Home ownership, you went to school, you went to college, you got your master's, your PhD, you're out in the world, you're going to try to make an impact, you're going to make a living, you're going to have some kids, you get the white picket fence. And those are the people we keep going back to penalize. Whether it's, again, I said this with the millionaires tax. I'm far from the millionaire. I'm like 100 there. Because they made the right decisions. They made the investment in their lives and their schooling and education and skills, and they went to trade school, and they became a carpenter or a plumber. And, they've done well in life. We're going to penalize them because they're successful and help these people who didn't make those sacrifices, didn't make that commitment. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's not the America that we grew up in. And we keep changing. It's our political leaders, too. We keep changing our America. Tolerance. We're very tolerant people now. It's almost to the point where we're bordering on being socialist here. The city doesn't have the right to go into somebody's 1, 2, 3 family, or 2 or 3 family home and dictate what they can do with their property. Because the city will be the first one, if that individual has a problem at the job or the tenants go bad and they fall behind on their property taxes, the city will slap a lien on there in no time. Again, there's no reset button. There's no sympathy. So don't tell these individuals what they should do with their property. Going to break the commercial. You're watching the Hudson County Show. I'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. Looking important. Shuffling my papers. Hudson County Show. Pat O'Neill, you're here. You're watching it live if you're watching it between 12 and 1 o'clock. If you're watching it later on YouTube or HMG TV shows, I ain't live. All right, we got one segment left. Let's go. The IRS is now going to review the state of New Jersey's work around the property tax deduction. Remember the feds capped tax deduction, property tax-wise, $10,000. The same as the state of New Jersey, by the way. They're going to review it, and there were some things that were interesting out of the IRS's comment. First off, only the federal government says what is a federal deduction on a Fed tax return. That kind of makes sense. This looks like it's going to go to the courts, but everything goes to the courts now. We elect people to make decisions, but everything's being decided by a judge. I don't know if you come up with a convenient way to try to get around your Fed taxes statewide and think that's going to work, because this is like so transparent. It's obvious what we're doing here. And, I was thinking when I was writing this, we're looking at the Gateway Tunnel. We want the feds to give it like tons of money, but here we are telling the feds, we're not going to do that. And two, I'd probably have more respect for the state of New Jersey's attempt, and New York State also, to circumvent this Fed deduction cap if they raise their own caps. The state of New Jersey has the $10 same deduction cap, but nobody's saying anything about that. And it's just odd that, politicians are all crying about that Fed deduction cap when there's like proposed taxes flying all around us. You know, you're going to get hit with a lot of taxes in 2018. The statue, the Catanian statue down there on Exchange Place, it looks like that's going to be going. There were 3 resolutions on the council that went through a first reading. There was a marathon council session. I kept checking in on Twitter with Terrence's writings. He was covering it for the Jersey Journal. They were there like midnight. They were still going at it. The vote to move the statue went 7-2. Richie B. and Mike Yoon voted against it. You know, it's amazing when you can have 40 people speak out against moving the statue, and there was a couple of people from the statue committee that said, yeah, let's move it, that they would still vote that way. If anything, they should have tabled this and said, you know, let's have a little more research on that. And one of the excuses was to move it to statue because we have festivals in that spot. You have like some concerts going on, and you have this gruesome statue, as Matt Cali guy called it, and it takes the vibe away from the concerts and the festivals because you had that stabby guy there. So I was thinking, you know, we have festivals in cemeteries now. You know, we could go dancing on someone's grave on Newark Avenue, but God forbid, we're sipping a smoothie in front of the statue to 20-some-odd thousand Polish people. I would rather see the statue stay where it is. It's been there for over 30 years. It's really one of the landmarks of Jersey City now. I don't know where we're getting the money to keep moving things because they're going to develop a park with a children's playground and a water park for the kids in a commercial area. I'm going to go on record right now. We will probably not see the water park or the children's playground when this is all said and done and the statue walks off. But you really got to have some sort of a commitment. When the city gives a commitment to this committee, the statue committee, to have a statue at this location, you know, we don't put it on wheels so that it can be rolled around. And the commitment has to last longer than the administration. You know, every 4 years, you know, it's James Solomon at the caucus is saying, well, we're going to give a 99-year lease to the new location on York Street. And he looked at the Corp Council, this new guy, Peter, and he says, it'll be there for 99 years. Another council in the future couldn't rescind that. And he goes, oh, yeah, another council could. So basically, there's no commitment. And there has to be a commitment that lasts longer than the administration that approved it. You know, what happens today with Fulop, we can't reverse when we get, you know, Mayor Jones in there or whatever. There has to be in perpetuity commitment to whether it's a statue or monument, whatever this group, the civic organization is doing. Expenses, pride, moral, all this goes in to doing these statues, memorials, and you need really an unending commitment from the municipalities, such as Jersey City here. Again, I would keep the statue where it is. You know, Journal Square, you know, Journal Square went through a few renovations in my lifetime. Christopher Columbus has moved around Journal Square a bit, but he always stayed in the square. He is the focus of Journal Square. And hopefully that stays there. He's in Gloria Esposito Plaza where the 9/11 fountain is, and I dedicated the 9/11 fountain so I can appreciate what the Polish people are talking about. Fleet Week. Big holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I would take a moment if you're in the area to go down by the water, look at all the ships, because it's always cool to look at these. And when you're there, look at the Intrepid as opposed to the size of these ships today. The Intrepid in its day was considered huge. It is small compared to destroyers now, how big these ships got. And I feel I have a connection to Fleet Week. Back in 1976 with Operation Sail, the first one where we brought everybody in, every ship we had, all the nations of the world sent ships in there. I was working for a company called Demings. We would set up lawn chairs, folding chairs for graduations or in any event. And I was sent down to set up bleachers on the waterfront of Jersey City for Operation Sail. Well, all the ships are going to come through the Hudson River. And we're setting up these bleachers. A bunch of us working like, I forget, $4 an hour. And off on the horizon of the Hudson River, I see this big red cross coming up. And I'm talking to the other guys, and I said, what is that? And it was a sail ship. It was the Santa Maria, a replica of it. And I remember as we kept putting these bleachers together, eventually the Santa Maria made it there. It was moving pretty slow. It's scary to see how small these ships were that crossed the ocean back in the 1400s to 1500s. You had to be some pretty brave people just to board those ships, how rickety and how small they were. But yet those people, you know, they traversed the world in those type of ships. But I had a connection. I was down there on the waterfront putting those bleachers together for Operation Sail, and I've seen a lot of those ships come in. All right, we're at a show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you Tuesday on the Jersey City Show. Good night.